As with any other sport and entertainment environment, there are many things that happen behind the cameras in WWE that fans don't always know about. But some of these issues, like getting into the adult entertainment industry or choking Vince McMahon himself, are so serious that they lead to superstars being blacklisted from the company. Let's take a look at wrestlers who were blacklisted from WWE. Chris Benoit. Despite being one of the greatest in-ring performers ever, Chris Benoit will never get his flowers for it. But this isn't surprising given the double murder and suicide incident he was involved in. He told WWE officials that his wife and son were vomiting blood due to food poisoning. But when Benoit failed to show for his pay-per-view match, WWE requested police officers for a welfare check the following morning. Around 2:30 p.m., officers discovered the bodies of Benoit, his wife Nancy, and his 7-year-old son Daniel. The rabid Wolverine's corpse was hanging off the lat pull-down machine in his home gym. WWE held a 3-hour special in memory of Benoit's life that Monday night on Raw. But further investigations revealed it was Benoit who committed the murders over a 3-day period. He first overdosed his wife, then strangled his son the next day, and finally hung himself on the night of the Vengeance pay-per-view. And after this information was publicly revealed, WWE immediately removed all mention of Benoit from their programming and website. He hasn't been acknowledged at all since, as the company doesn't want their brand associated with the tragic murders of Benoit and his family. China. The ninth wonder of the world became one of the WWF's most popular superstars in the late 90s. Her impressive physique and her strong woman persona helped her thrive in the company in all sorts of roles. As D-Generation X's bodyguard, as Eddie Guerrero's girlfriend and manager, and as a single star in both the men and women's divisions. But in mid-2001, she was suddenly taken off TV, and her contract was left to expire in November of that same year. After winning the Women's Championship on WrestleMania 17 and subsequently defending it against Lita on Judgment Day 2001, Chyna vacated the title and would never appear on WWE TV again. There are conflicting reports about her departure from the company. Chyna dated fellow WWF star Triple H from 1996 through 2000. But after the love storyline between the Game and Stephanie McMahon started in late 1999, a rumor started floating around about Triple H cheating on Chyna with the chairman's daughter while they were still dating. Seeing how awkward the situation between Stephanie, Hunter, and Chyna had become backstage, Vince McMahon reportedly decided to let Chyna walk away. Another report claims Chyna was taken off TV after she and the WWF couldn't agree on terms on a new contract. As confirmed by Jim Ross, Chyna was seeking a yearly $1 million contract from the company after she refused a base $400,000 deal with the potential of major extra income from merchandise and pay-per-view appearances. As both sides couldn't come to an agreement, her contract was let to expire as she intended to move on to an acting career. But the biggest reason she was blacklisted from WWE was her ensuing role in multiple adult films. WWE did air a tribute video the day after she passed away in 2016, and both Stephanie McMahon and Triple H even acknowledged she deserves a spot as an individual inductee in the Hall of Fame. But they also said they didn't know how soon this would be possible due to her career in pornography. Ric Flair. Woo! The wrestling community was shocked to learn that WWE terminated Ric Flair's contract in August 2021. As one of the greatest wrestlers of all time and a consistent presence as a character in WWE TV even in 2021, nobody understood why the company would release Flair. As with our previous entry, there are multiple rumors about his exit. Flair himself claimed in an interview that it was he who requested to be released, as his exclusive WWE contract didn't allow him to pursue other projects without the company's approval. There were also reports that Flair wasn't happy about how he had been used on TV over his last couple of years in the company, and even that he wanted a more prominent role in storylines. An additional report claimed he even complained to Vince McMahon about the way his daughter, Charlotte Flair, was being booked, leading to Vince releasing him. Anyway, things still appeared to remain cool between both sides, but when Flair realized that WWE removed his trademark woo sound effect from the intro package they play at the start of every show, the Nature Boy felt deeply disrespected and started bashing the company at almost every chance he had. Flair effectively closed any doors for a potential return in the future, but he doesn't seem to care. "I would go to work for Tony Khan," Flair said in an interview, "but I will never go back to WWE." CM Punk. Chicago's favorite son is perhaps the most recognizable blacklisted wrestler in WWE history. Punk infamously walked out on the company following the 2014 Royal Rumble due to creative frustrations and health-related issues. Through multiple legal battles, WWE was unable to convince Punk to return to wrestling. The company finally fired him on the day of his wedding in June 2014. In the meantime, any and all references to Punk were removed, despite still being legally under contract. The intro package, on-air mentions, WWE went as far as to cover Punk's face with a sticky note when a poster from a previous pay-per-view appeared in the background of a backstage segment. In 2019, Punk made his first WWE-related appearance in 5 years when he showed up on Fox's WWE Backstage show and was featured regularly as a wrestling analyst. Punk said he had agreed to do the show as he was under contract with Fox, not WWE. But the company apparently had interest in burying the hatchet and bringing him back to the ring. This obviously never materialized, as Punk would end up signing with AEW in August 2021. But in the years he was absent from wrestling, it was hilarious seeing WWE's failed efforts to erase Punk from history. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. Here is the most surprising reason why a superstar was blacklisted from WWE. But before we get into it, if you've made it this far and have enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to be entered into our monthly shout-out giveaway. Once you do it, comment "I subbed" down below. This month's shout-out goes to Jorge Cantu. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the case of Nails. You may be wondering who this guy is. Well, Vince McMahon was also wondering who he was when Nails stormed into the boss's office demanding a bigger paycheck. In all, the Nails character was an ex-convict who accused the big boss man of abusing him while he was in prison. Boss man's character was obviously that of an ex-prison guard, and their rivalry gained quite some traction. Nails won the feud and moved into short programs with the likes of The Undertaker, Bret the Hitman Hart, and The Ultimate Warrior. Not bad for a rookie, right? Well, Nails' success really went to his head. He decided to complain to Vince McMahon about his paycheck for a match against Virgil at SummerSlam 1992. Nails screamed at McMahon, cornered him in his office, and eventually knocked him off his chair and strangled him. This story has been told by multiple personalities like Bret Hart and Bruce Pritchard, but all versions end with Nails choking Mr. McMahon. He was immediately fired from the company and McMahon took legal action. Needless to say, he would never be welcomed back into the WWE. Be sure to check out our previous video, Wrestlers That Were Reckless in the Ring, and we'll catch you in the next one.